other people, functions, forms.
And they control your...
I beg your pardon, that's correct.
No.
In the control of, I should say. So I gained only what...
They wanted you to...
That's correct, basically.
Did they also deprive you of sleep and food and things like this to make you more malleable? Or?
No.
Simply...
Basically, that's sort of corny.
Right.
I don't mean to demean your question,
No, I
but it was very elementary in the procedures that they did.
How long were you permitted to stay in the time period? Within hours, minutes, seconds?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question.
If you were put into a time period, forward or back, okay, how long were you permitted to stay there? How long would the vortex stay open?
As long as they ran the transmitter.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I mean, what was the mean time that someone would stay in the future? Minutes, seconds, days, hours?
I can't answer that. The question is not answerable. Considering
I mean, in your perception of time, in your perception of time,
there is no such
The people who were running...
consideration of perception of time during that period. It's very...
It wasn't a deal where they were told you got an hour to do the job, you got to be back in an hour.
Does that mean that when you went back, for the people on this side, it appeared you just went in and came right back out?
Yeah.
So you basically left and returned at the same time, no matter how much time you spent. Some went out.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's true.
Yeah.
So there were a few points where the thing glitched and you might have returned an hour later. But it wasn't meant to.
Basically, when you deal in the avenues of what Preston and Al call hyperspace, there is no such thing as time per se. It's in causality.
Right.
In theory and in function, you can return before you can start.
Right.
When they return you before you started, you don't remember what happened.
That's
That's
happen,
one of the
it did
ways
happen.
they erase memories.
You did that intentionally, didn't you?
Yeah. They have you do a job, go through the job, and then they return you to maybe milliseconds before you started. At that point, it becomes an isolated loop. You're detached from it. You can't even attach the Akashic record from that.
Incredible.
what was the shortest period of time that you know of someone traveling forward in time? Enough time to see himself coming through the vortex?
Okay, you're again asking Preston.
Okay.
He has information of such. I don't mean to demean your question.
I know that he has a lot of general information. You have specific information. So if anyone wants to answer that, the shortest period of time, like for example, if there's seconds between the time you enter the vortex and the time you arrive, could you put yourself in the future? For example, could you put yourself in the future 20 seconds or a minute or 3 minutes and meet yourself?
Okay, what he's getting at is, can you project yourself, let's say, 2 hours in the future and meet yourself 2 hours in the future?
Right.
Yes, you can. It's very dangerous.
Has it been done, to your knowledge?
No, it has not been done because when you walk through the tunnel, the way the tunnel was created, the person that walked in one end was out of phase with the person that walked out of the other end. If he met himself, poof, was gone.
Like matter and antimatter?
Yeah, very much. Like, but not quite like that.
Okay, just to add to something, what Preston says, in theory, this is what happens. Indeed, it did happen.
It did happen.
Oh, sure. As a matter of test run and procedure.
And the person did not survive.
Well, sure, it was literally just blown apart.
Yeah.
It's just incinerated.
That's when they
To be
found
corny.
out that the transmitter did the phase reversal number. Still, they don't understand exactly what phase reversal it is. It's not normal phase reversal. So,
Cameron, if at a time you went into the future and you were in a point of danger, let's say in some situation you didn't expect, did you ever come across that sort of thing where, like that situation, right in the moment, whatever it was?
Well, on a metaphysical basis and theory, since I was educated in that sense, when you start moving through space and time, it is of necessity to start looking around and seeing what's going on other than supposedly straight ahead. All different functions and violations of all sorts of things that go on.
it's breaking all sorts of laws.
Really?
Oh, sure.
Metaphysical laws.
To answer your question directly, though, I have passed myself in view, not made a connection of sorts. You just don't do that.
Were you ever given anything to protect you against anything you would come across? If it was a life and death situation, as people go into the jungles, they have weapons, let's say, or you're on a mission, you have weapons. But you would go into the future. If you met something and you were really in danger, what would you do if you didn't have a weapon? So did you carry such a thing?
Or would you have immediate access to the portal?
Okay, I think I can answer that.
I have no information on that.
I think I can answer that. First of all, they could design the vortex. Answer that.
I have no information on that.
I think I can answer that. First of all, they could design the vortex that would follow him, and they could essentially view what's happening to him in the future. That means this I do remember. I'm sorry. This I know happened. That they could follow the person in the future or the past. Anything dangerous start to happen, they just bring them back automatically. It was like a mission control where there was a group of people watching what went on, and they were able to talk to him. He could talk back to them. You know, they had set up so that when they speak into a mic on the station, he could hear it. They hear what he says to the speakers on the station, and they had a whole monitoring set up operational, and they also had the capability with the transmitter to run the vortex right over to him and pull him back without him walking in it. They walk the vortex to him. If he started to encounter anything dangerous, zoop, he'd be pulled back and he'd be out of it.
Excuse me, put me down if I'm jumping ahead, but was the vortex, as many of us have read, first opened with the Philadelphia experiment in 1942-43?
Yes.
Are you going to be talking about that later? Okay.
Yes. Yes, we will be. As soon as we can get over this hurdle here.
Right. It's a fascinating hurdle, you know?
It's a good size one.
Very fascinating. Also, because I remember hearing that lecture when you first talked about it, the circumstances by which this project was canceled in such a...
Well, we haven't got that far.
panic situation. No, I know.
We haven't got that far. Let's at this point continue. We can...
Well, I got a related question real quick, Lex. When you went into the future and saw the horse, was that by any chance something to scare you into agreeing to do what they wanted to prevent something, or?
It was more of a view, just to consider indeed what was there and critique.
Yep.
So they really wanted to know something.
Like a reference point.
Yeah, it's a test.
It was a test, basically.
We're all getting the same answer.
They wanted to see if everybody came back with basically the same view, the same information. Test your powers of observation, whatever.
Okay.
What did you see? Describe it in detail. Not only the horse, but the surrounding city that was in ruins. Well, do you have any ideas why? Did you see anybody there? Did you see anything else? Et cetera, et cetera.
So when you would go through the vortex, if you were to go through right now, you disappear from this spot?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Very definitely.
You wouldn't be here.
I got you.
You'd just be on the viewers.
Right.
All right. Okay. Let's continue.
One more question. Could the system of the vortex without the technological trappings have been something similar to how Nostradamus or the prophets or whatever were supposed to see the future?
Who knows?
I mean,
That's
speculating.
totally unknown.
I assume movies were sometimes taken in the past.
Well, movies can be made right off the viewers.
Oh, really?
If you got off the viewer,
Sure.
like
The viewer was a video signaling. You put the viewer right onto a videotape machine.
Wow.
what kind of files must they have somewhere on all?
Yes. Good question. What kind
Somebody
of
already had movies. Sorry.
home movies?
Home movies. That's a good one.
What a pile of home movies.
Sounds like a title for a sci-fi movie about this.
And the question would be here, do you have any of these tapes? No.
No.
They were closely guarded. I know the tapes were made because I saw them, but they were closely guarded.
You saw the tape?
Well, I have to admit, I think I have to admit at this point, I was there too. I was the guy that built the transmitter. You know, rebuilt the transmitter. See, they did the